Good evening again. I'd like to call the committee of the whole for the Village of Cary for November 5th, 2024 to order with roll call, please.
Collier.
Here.
Dudek.
Here.
McAlpine.
Here.
Stefani.
Here.
Walworth. Here. Weinhammer.
Here.
Koenig.
Here. Would you join me again in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving to the public comments. The public is invited to make an issue-oriented comment on any matter of public concern not otherwise on the agenda. I don't think anybody have anything they'd like to talk about with the committee? Nothing? Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and close at 6:10. We have two items this evening. One is a discussion on the potential partnership agreement with the Cary Grove Area Chamber of Commerce for the 2025 Cary Main Street Fest event.
Thank you, Mayor. So as the board may recall, we had a successful reboot of the Cary Main Street Fest this past September. It was a very well-attended event, and we're very proud of the response that we had from the community and all the support from our volunteers on our board and the chamber as well. You might recall real briefly that this event was focused on kind of our three main attractions of live music, beverages in our newer social district, and of course the food trucks. Supplementing that were craft beer tastings, farmers market, all hosted by the Rotary Club of Cary Grove, and then we had an art fair, a bags tournament, a family area, and a couple of games with Singo and trivia as well. So for 2025, if there's a desire from the board and the chamber to participate in an agreement to host another event this next September, we would need to enact another event participation agreement. Staff from both the chamber and the village are proposing a very similar agreement to last year. We'll need to determine the date very shortly, but we do have some thoughts on that as we move forward. The event budget would be consistent with last year of a total cost of about $50,000, with those costs and revenues at the end of the event split equally between the village and the chamber. We would still have the same event planning committee with 2 staff members from each, the chamber and the village, and then up to, if needed, 1 board advisor from each of the different boards, the Village Board of Trustees and the Board of Directors of the Chamber. And then, if desired by either party, if there's an early termination desired, that would just need to be done in writing by March 1st of 2025. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions the board might have with regards to moving forward with another event. We would iron out details for the next event, obviously at a later meeting upon convening our event planning committee. So things like the exact date, the times, and other details, those wouldn't be for this discussion, but for a subsequent discussion at a later date. So we're looking just for direction if the board is okay with the similar structure for the participation agreement. And if there are any comments to that, we can have those modified and proposed for the next board meeting. The Chamber Board of Directors did meet and discuss this as well, and they have on their end approved support for this concept and this agreement.
Yeah, one of the things that have been discussed, since that's about the timing, the days, maybe doing a Friday, Saturday, and a much later Sunday, kind of looking at things. I know we're a football community, but they think that they're able to really power it up a little bit. You know, we're looking at some of the more logistical things. I think it went really well. Saturday night was extremely busy, and people loved it. I didn't have one person come up to me and say, "Why are you doing this?" They're all thrilled that it's back. You know, I think the chamber and some of us that have talked about it, we do need to tweak a little bit of it to figure it out what's going to be best. But it, as part of the bringing it back, it's the cost of producing this is substantially less than it has been in the past. So that's a good option. So we're looking again to continue to drive up the revenue so that it continues to pay for itself. We missed the mark this year, but it's the first time. There were some expenditures that we paid for this year that we could reuse from year to year, so we could count on the reduction of the budget for that. But we will be having some discussions about what the board members, because everybody here was participated, so we'd love to get some of your feedback with that too.
When will that happen? Just wondering. Later? Like
Probably,
2 months?
And probably within the next month or so, we'll have a committee discussion about it.
Yeah, once, if the agreement's approved by the board at our next meeting, we'll enact, obviously, our planning committee and get our dates set up, and then we will start the process of getting those details ironed out. So I would say within the first few months, similar to last time, we'll have some early ideas to present to the board and the chamber board as well, and then move forward on those. But the kind of overarching structure of the event, things like the mayor mentioned with the dates, the times, those are the things obviously we'd want to iron out first so that we can then fill in the gaps from there with the different pieces and entertainment.
So like you said, we had a minor shortfall, so we'll discuss that later also about where the money went and what, like he just said, to be reused. Later, we'll talk about that?
Yes.
Not now.
I can answer questions about it now if you have any.
What
But,
was the shortfall caused
yeah.
by?
For each of the chamber and the village, the revenues versus the $25,000 expenditures from each party, we were down about $6,800, so just slightly under.
And some of that can be recouped because we don't have to rebuy or redo things.
Right,
next
some of the
year.
material supplies like the stage backdrop, we bought
Stage
that
skirts and
without a date on it, so it could be used stage
Okay,
skirt.
I was just wondering where I looked through some of it, but some of it was cut off. It was hard to read some of that.
Well, also, and I'm just going to throw this out there too, to discuss the benefits of the social district during the event, because we have all of our other liquor license wholesaling things. So that took a big chunk out of that. And that's something that I think we need to have a discussion about. If that's what maybe we suspend the social district, that aspect of it during the event, because this event is to bring the community together and be a negative cost to the community, but still being able to have fun, and that's so it regenerates itself.
I support
from
it.
the
Still
beginning.
100% there. I was just asking where the
No, I know.
shortfall was.
These are
Yeah.
great questions to have, but I think it's important that, we go into this with our eyes wide open to see what some of the problems, because in all the years past, I think,
Somebody else ran.
well, not necessarily, but the beverage sales were substantially more than they are now.
And for context, good segue, Mayor. So in 2024, the beverage sales, gross beverage sales for the event were about $34,000 for both days total. So for comparison, in 2019, the last time we had the event prior to the pandemic, the beverage sales were about $39,000. And the year prior to that, in 2018, they were $31,000.
Did anybody on either end reach out to the restaurants and ask kind of what their sales, how much they increased during the event, or no?
I believe anecdotally, we've heard that they had very successful days. We don't have exact numbers, though.
Okay.
But we can inquire
But we
about
did
that.
reach out to them a little bit.
Right, and this is something that we would want to work with the
Right,
business owners downtown about it, to coming up with a solution, because there was a lot of confusion at first where, people were going and that. So again, we're trying to do what's best for the entire community, that it's a profitable event, that we can continue to regenerate the revenue so it becomes a neutral cost to the village. But again, I'd like to have a really kind of a robust discussion and get some input. You all have participated in it, so moving on to 2025, we'll make it even better. But, I think it's great. It's, I'm very proud of our staff that did it. I mean, our Public Works Department, our Police Department, they were just unbelievable. Both of the two gentlemen over there that were probably on vacation or something, but, no, they were both there.
Both there working.
But, no, I think that it shows the community that we are invested in making sure that this is a successful event.
We can get into it when we have the meeting, but just in general, were there any negatives that you heard from the business owners downtown?
Just logistically, signage, that kind of thing, but those are all things that were rectified during the event. But other than that, everybody was very happy with how it went.
I'm a little disappointed to hear that there was a shortfall. And I apologize if I misunderstood this. I thought the whole objective, this initial one, was to see if there was a split, meaning if we made money, if we didn't make money on it, to actually host it again the following year. Did I misunderstand that? I thought the village, we were going to take this over 100% if it was successful?
No, I don't think, we've always talked about partnering with the.
We've always talked about partnering with them? Okay.
Well, we
let's take a step
eliminated-
back. Yeah, we originally, when they backed out of it, and we said we
Yeah.
would take it over, and then they said, no, they wanted to
They
partner
want to
with
come
us.
Got
back.
it.
Because
Okay,
if you
so
remember
maybe
that-
that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Okay.
Yeah. No, they want to get back into it. You got to remember too, we also had a professional organizer that ran it for the first 5 or 6 years.
Correct.
Yep, it does.
So there was some growing pains with that too. But I think that it was very successful.
I heard nothing but raves about it. It was crowded. It really brought out the community. We had some great bands. People had a lot of fun. I don't think from the policing standpoint that there were any major issues. So to me, that's a huge success. And doing it again in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce, I think that's a great way to partner with them and figure out ways that we can improve upon. I think there are numerous ways, numerous things that they probably have ideas that could do better. We probably have ideas that do better. So we can kind of come together and have a robust conversation about how to make it even better in the succeeding years. So I'm definitely 100% for.
Right. And
Moving
what was
forward with
great about it was the food truck aspect,
Yeah.
and that people loved the food choices.
Oh, yeah.
They were blown away about how we were able
Well,
to
and
get
they
all
ran out
these-
of food.
Yeah, they all ran
good
out of
thing.
food, yeah. So
So-
that's a good thing. That's a good
It
problem.
wasn't just us running out of cups. It was some of the food places running out.
You still have blisters from putting stickers on?
Go, go,
Yeah.
go.
Anyway. All right, well, we'll continue the conversation. We'll dive deeper into it at the next committee meeting, but we need to have this at least formalized so that we can have these discussions. So do I have a consensus to move this forward to the next village board meeting?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect, thank you. I think you have got your marching orders, Mr. Morimoto. Okay, second on the discussion items is regarding the McHenry County Safety Action Plan and the proposed Vision Zero resolution. I think this is an awesome opportunity for us, so we're going to give it over to Kalen.
Thank you. Like the mayor said, we're here to talk about the McHenry County Safety Action Plan and a potential Vision Zero resolution. McHenry County Safety Action Plan, McHenry County is in coordination with CMAP, and they launched a McHenry County Safety Action Plan. They hired Epstein Global, was contracted to consult by the county to see this plan through. It's a strategic initiative to enhance road and pathway safety, and it focuses on vulnerable road users, which includes pedestrians, bicyclists, children, older adults, and individuals with disabilities. And the primary goal of the action plan is to ensure safe and inclusive transportation network for everyone, and ultimately develop a Vision Zero resolution. What is Vision Zero? Vision Zero is a strategic initiative that eliminates traffic fatalities and serious injuries. That's the main focus, traffic fatalities and serious injuries among all road users, while increasing safe, healthy, and reasonable mobility for everybody. It originated in Sweden in the 1990s and has since been adopted globally. And Vision Zero acknowledges road users do make mistakes, so there should be policies in place that design those inevitable mistakes to not result in severe injuries and or fatalities. Safety Action Plan, Epstein developed a study area that included the entirety of McHenry County. It also includes all of Algonquin, Huntley, and Fox River Grove, even the portions that bleed into the other counties. And their study focus was from 2018 to 2020 years, so those 4 years. They found that there were 94 fatalities in the county, 645 serious injuries, which ultimately cost approximately $1.86 billion. Here they outlined all the accident information through the county, which vary in severity. The graph shows fatal and serious crash totals throughout the municipalities in the county, as well as unincorporated areas there. If you can read that bottom line, Cary is the second one with the red from the top. You can see, and then the graph on the right, the blue, that's fatal and serious injuries for 1,000 residents. The ultimate goal of this Vision Zero initiative is to reduce those lines to nothing. Again, a few more graphics, a few maps of the highlighted areas. That is their draft high injury network, where they show known or suspected high injury areas based on current conditions. The map on the left shows the entire area of the county while tried to highlight some of the closer to home areas of Cary on that right-hand map. Again, the goal of that initiative is to remove all of these red lines. So how does Vision Zero work? It's based on principles that traffic deaths and severities are preventable by designing safe infrastructure, prioritizing high speeds, or prioritizing safe speeds, collaborating across sectors, using data, and providing equitable, safe mobilization, mobility a priority for everyone. And one of their focuses is because human error is inevitable, Vision Zero perspective is design roads that assume human error is inevitable to some degree and to minimize the exposure to the conditions so that the crash is not lethal. The benefits of Vision Zero is that it provides a strategy to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries to road users. It allows village infrastructure and roadway improvements to be listed on this McHenry County Safety Action Plan, which then creates an opportunity for the village to access future grant funding. Overall, this does not lock the village into any future funding. However, it provides the village to be on this list of priority projects that will assist us to be able to access funds in the future. Epstein and the county have been gathering project ideas and information through outreach, and one of these outreach opportunities was Cary Main Street Fest. I don't know if anybody saw them out there, but they did have a little kiosk where they were there trying to reach out to the public and get information on where they saw issues, not only in Cary, but this is a county-wide initiative, so wherever issues are within the county, they're looking for that feedback, and they've held these outreach opportunities. The projects, through future funding, they must be eligible within certain categories, which includes infrastructure, operational safety, and policies and programs, and only the projects listed within the plan are eligible for that funding. Through this safety action plan, there will be Safe Streets for All grant funding available for those projects. The next round of that funding is expected in 2025. It will be available for all municipalities, townships, McHenry County DOT, or multi-agency partnerships. Agencies must be within the county or directly impact the county's transportation network and must demonstrate a clear alignment with this initiative, the Safety Action Plan, and the Vision Zero objectives. Like I previously mentioned, the infrastructure, or the types of project can be infrastructure related, which can consist of lighting or pedestrian crossings, educational or technology advancements like improved traffic signals. Like I just mentioned, they've been out gathering projects and doing surveys throughout the community. You can see on some of these projects that they have come up with. Besides McHenry DOT and a couple other, you can note a lot of Cary projects that staff and the public have already come forward with. Some of those to highlight include US 14 in West Main and US 14 and Three Oaks, two projects that we've talked about in the village for a long time. So from here, potential next steps, looking for discussion and feedback on adopting that Vision Zero strategy. If the board is in favor of that, staff would develop that Vision Zero resolution and bring it for a future agenda item for board approval. And lastly, public input. So we're looking, or the county, Epstein, the village are looking for information. And the survey, you can scan that QR code. The hyperlink is on the screen above, or if anybody needs that information in the future, you're welcome to reach out to myself or Administrator Miramoto, and we'd be happy to provide that. Public input is crucial to this initiative they have going in the Vision Zero resolution. So anything this is our chance now to get these projects listed on this safety action plan.
Will we be able to put that information on our website, Cary News Weekly, Facebook, whatever other outlets that we have?
Absolutely.
To garner as much support or feedback as we possibly can?
Sure.
That would be great.
I had a quick question. So a while ago, we were talking about getting grant money and partnering up with other towns, and one of the areas was South Rawson Bridge Road to have like a bike trail. Does this coincide with that, or is this completely separate?
This would be separate from, that was a ITEP grant that we applied for. We'll probably hear about that in the spring, I'm guessing April. This is aside from that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Could, just real quickly too, to piggyback on the survey, if we're looking to do a survey to our residents, couldn't we include this in on it, even though it's, I mean, to me, anytime we can get information out to our residents to get them engaged and involved, I'd rather get everything out that we can, let them know what's going on in as many avenues as we can, whether it's the weekly newsletter, Facebook, any other type of outlets that we have to get that. I personally think this is a fantastic idea. Anytime we can work in cooperation, it's going to give us a better chance to be granted some of these grants, to be approved for them when you're doing it in conjunction with other entities, surrounding communities. And obviously, this is the goal of everyone. We'd all love to have zero accidents. I mean, the chief, we don't want to put you out of business or anything, but that really should be the goal. Safety is number one to all of us. So this to me is an opportunity to build upon what our core values and our goals are, things that we want to accomplish here.
Who approached us? Was this the county, the state, IDOT?
This is because it's part of the county safety action plan. That's where it came from. I actually sit on the steering committee for the plan with the county, so I'm got a seat at the table and had some information shared with me and thought it would be good for the board to have a proactive, early dive into it as opposed to waiting.
Okay, thanks.
This will also help because, some of the roads that you've seen on there, the intersection improvements that through McCog, we're not looking at long stretches of roads now to get money from the state, but more intersections because we're finding there are a lot more incidences on intersections that we have, like the ones that we just talked about, Three Oaks and 14, as well as 14 and West Main Street. These are things that are on McCog's priority list for when we discuss these things. And this is just an unbelievable opportunity for us to get some additional funding. And not just the funding, but this will help us with the end goal with with zero incidences whatsoever.
So this is not asking us for money. This is more for
No.
grant purposes of potential spots that are out there that we could technically utilize / fix.
Correct.
Got it.
Can I piggyback on trustee Whitehammer's comment or question? Does this company, what do they provide? Are they talking about providing pathways or just marking pathways, or is it both?
Epstein you're talking about?
The whole project, or the whole Vision Zero? Because I think what Jennifer was suggesting is we have the plan for this path to go along Rawson Bridge. I don't think we have a plan at this point of marking that plan for a pedestrian lane and a bike lane, but your very first picture showed that. So I guess what I'm curious about is Project Zero marking existing pathways, or is it also part of creating new pathways?
So Vision Zero is essentially setting a policy that is our intended goal. So when we do a design, like I mentioned, those can be done through different methods, but our ultimate goal is that we want to see zero fatalities and zero serious risks. So Epstein is working with the county to come up with this safety action plan, and within that safety action plan is a list of projects that the county sees as needing improvements based on the crash history reports and whatnot. And so then those plans would be eligible under the safety action plan. If our project is listed, we can apply for funding for that project, that intersection, that segment of roadway. If it's not on that list, we would not be eligible. So if we want to make improvements to a certain area or another municipality, their section of roadway would have to be listed within this safety action plan, and then we'd go through the steps of designing, making those safety improvements.
Okay. It's a little off topic though, but it's related, in my opinion. The new path, when it's done, whenever it might be done, is not in any safety zone because it doesn't exist, right? So there's no incidences of fatalities or injuries. Yet I think many of us who use our paths in this town find that the coordination of bike riders and runners and walkers is not always the best. And so when I saw the very first slide, I just came back from Montreal, and this was all over the place. They have designated lanes for all three. And frankly, it's a little bit unnerving when you're not used to it, because you walk into something and all of a sudden a bike comes out of nowhere because he or she's in their lane and you're going through their lane. So there's education that has to be done too. But I think, you know, bigger picture, when we complete a lane like we will on Rawson Bridge, it would seem to me like this project kind of coordinates, okay, let's have some sort of designation of who should be where so we don't create fatalities where there weren't before. That's really all I was curious about.
This is like a badge saying going forward, we're going to keep this in mind. Kind of like we're a green village as well.
I mean, it's the board adopting this policy.
Yeah.
To see a vision
I'm
zero.
with you.
Well, just piggybacking on that a little bit again, too. So let's say that something's in this vision plan, and we've got something going, and another grant is available through a different source. Could we not still take that program, even though it's pre-approved, and apply for another grant? I know we can't apply for, if something's not in it, we can't apply for any funds that are available under the net zero, but can we pull it out at any point and apply for other grants as well? Or are we
Yeah.
just totally pigeonholed into, this is the only way we can get money for these projects?
No, absolutely, we can
That's what
always
I'm saying.
apply for any
Perfect.
grants, yes.
So to me, that's a win-win. You get an extra avenue that says, hey, if you're in here, you get an extra shot at it, but you still have that opportunity if something else comes up that's out of the scope of that you can go and apply for.
Well, if you look at it too, to talk about what Trustee Dudek was just talking about, and Trustee Weinhammer about the pathway from Cary all the way to Port Barrington, that's a multi-jurisdictional project, which is, I think, it's almost like a leading. We're ahead of the time before this is even done that we're able to do these things. And it was a shame that we were passed on the last time, but I think they made some changes to the application to perhaps.
Yeah, we
Enhance it.
Yeah, we
Enhance it.
just enhanced it and submitted it a couple months ago, and
Yeah.
I think
We'll
we'll
keep
hear.
our fingers crossed, because that would be an unbelievable
That'd be great.
project, especially for all the shared services and municipal partnering we do up here. I mean, that's a great thing, and especially multi-county, because it involves Lake County. I mean, that's I'm excited about that, and if there's any way that we could, anyway. But that's a great conversation. Does anybody else have any comments or remarks regarding this? I think it's a win-win situation. So I have the consent of the committee to move this just to the consent agenda in the next board meeting? Thank you. Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned at 6:38.